You can change what you are. You can change where you are by changing what goes into your mind. At age 45, I was broken in debt. My dad died when I was 5 years old. I'm one of 12 children. It was the heart of the Depression. I went to work in a grocery store on Saturday before I entered the 5th grade on Monday. I worked every afternoon after school, and on Saturday I had a paper route 2 nights a week and collected 1 night a week. By age 14, I was running a meat market. I contributed to the support of my family before I was 13 years old. I've worked hard all of my life. But until I was 45 years old, I was stone broke. Now stay with me, because this is a critical point that can make a dramatic difference in your life, your family life, your business life, your personal life. There are 3 things I'm going to be stressing today because I think they're so important. Number 1, I'm going to say to you that you are what you are and where you are because of what's gone into your mind. And that you can change what you are. You can change where you are by changing what goes into your mind. The second thing I'm going to stress so hard is that life is tough. You see, I don't care what you do, whether you're a student or whether you're the newest distributor, whether you're a gold direct, a diamond, a pearl, or whether you're a crown, life is tough. But I'm also going to stress the fact that when you are tough on yourself, that life is going to be infinitely easier on you. Now, life is tremendously exciting. It's enormously rewarding. But first of all, it is demanding. You see, you got to be before you can do, and you got to do before you can have. The third thing I'm going to stress to you this morning is basically the fact that you can have everything in life that you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. And that phrase has never been more meaningful. It has never been truer than it is today in the Amway business. Because you absolutely must build the other individual.
To identify the qualities of success, they generally come out with about 25 of them. And we identify them or ask them then to say to us, tell us which of these are attitudes and which are skills. Out of 25, 20 of them are always attitudes. Then I say to them, well, would you agree then that attitude's important? They do. Then I say, how many of you, when you were in school, had even one course that taught you how to build a winning attitude? Less than 1% of the audience will say, I had such a course. Then we point out that obviously the schools are missing the boat. Because in industry, according to Harvard University, 85% of the reason a person gets a job and gets ahead in the job is because of their attitude.
Well, let me play a game with you. You're saying to me, why don't the schools do a better job of teaching attitudes? So the game I want to play is this. Is there anybody in the schools that is capable of teaching attitudes?
Fred, if they can teach you English and history and mathematics, you betcha they can teach attitude. There's a course, and as I've indicated, we have that course, and there are others, but obviously I'm going to talk about mine, and it's structured with beautiful manuals and games and involvements and exercises that the students do, which get them involved in the class. And the net result is 86% of the students in the class come out with better attitudes. The 46% of them make better grades in all of their other subjects as a result of it.
Zig, do you believe that positive, healthy attitudes start with good self-esteem?
Fred, it might sound like an overstatement, but I think about everything starts with a good, healthy self-esteem.
Well, how do we learn self-esteem? You know, a lot of us are brought up in homes where things aren't working right. We go to school and we fail. We take a job and we don't know how to succeed. How do we finally erase the failure pattern and start the good self-esteem pattern?
Let me give you a couple of little things we teach in the class, and this is the way we build this team. When a youngster is called upon to do anything, they have to stand up to answer. There's nothing on this earth that develops a good self-image as quickly as public speaking.
Really?
If the student, that's right, if the student has to repeat something or ask a question, he always stands up to ask. The confidence that they build in that one little exercise is absolutely astonishing.
Self-fulfillment is the bodybuilder who goes to the gym and develops the muscles and spends all the time admiring that physique. Personal growth is that individual who goes to the gym and lifts those weights and practices those jump shots so he can be part of a winning team. Self-fulfillment is the Dead Sea. It's an end. Personal growth is the Sea of Galilee. It's a living, growing, vibrant water. Self-fulfillment is the student who learns so they can display their knowledge. Personal growth is the teacher who learns so they can teach. It's the speaker who acquires knowledge that is valuable to somebody else so they can communicate that to them. That's the difference. Basically, we need to be consistent if we're going to make it big in the profession. And when I say make it big, I'm talking about getting in that position where you have an influence on other people, where you have that word of encouragement. Now, if you're going to talk about building a solid financial career, you ought to be an example of what you're talking about. Consistency of action, I believe, is the key to long-term success. How many of you honestly and sincerely believe, as a matter of fact, you're totally convinced that during the next 10 days there's something you can specifically do that would make your personal life, your family life, and your business life worse? Can I see your hands? All right. Then how many of you believe, honestly and sincerely, there's something you can specifically do in the next 10 days that would make your personal, business, and family life better? Can I see your hands? How many of you believe that the choice is yours? How many of you believe that every choice has an end result? Now let me pause and tell you what you have just said. What you just said, whether you knew it or not, is simply this. I don't care how bad or good my past has been. I don't care how bad or good my present is. There is something I can specifically do in the next 10 days that would make my personal, family, and business life either better or worse, and the choice is mine, and that choice will have an end result. That's what you said.